Hi, my name is Irina. I'm heading innovation for DHL for Middle East and Africa, and you're listening to Purple Podcast.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining us again on the next edition of the Purple Podcast. Joining me today is an esteemed guest. I'm very excited about this conversation, Irina Albanese, who heads up innovation for DHL in this part of the world. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Neil. Esteemed guest. Wow, that's a lot of expectations here.
Absolutely. And I've loved that you've come in wearing your branded DHL Innovation Center. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and what DHL is doing in innovation?
Cool. Thank you. Right. I think it makes sense to talk a little bit about kind of what are the setup of the centers. So we have 4 innovation centers globally. And one of them, the youngest one, we are only 3 years old, like well, not a toddler. We're talking, right? Set up here in Dubai to really look after Middle East and Africa region. So first of all, we are not a tinkering studio, right? We don't do our own technical R&D. We work through the partners, and we always say, like, it doesn't matter where the solution is coming from, as long as it is a fit for us and fit for our customers, we will work with that provider, be it big or small, right? So It's an array of startups and also big technological companies. Kind of how we drive innovation. First of all, we try to really understand what are those trends that are shaping supply chain and logistics. So we look far ahead, and we issue every 2 years logistics trend radar, where we look at social and business as well as technology trends that we believe in the next 5 to 10 years will shape the industry. And then we go and like, okay, now this is important trend. Let's look for problem statements and solutions.
Yeah.
Pick up some partners.
Yeah.
Try to do POCs, fail in some, succeed in some, and those that we succeed with, we kind of push back to DHL, to business units, to really productize and accelerate further.
That's super cool. And you're looking for those partnerships globally, I imagine.
Yeah. So that's why we have 4 innovation centers, because we want to really have that global reach. And it's also interesting to have that cross-pollination. So I'm quite proud of kind of being responsible in bringing some of the companies that are not in this market, right, from somewhere else, and kind of helping them to enter the Middle East and African market as well. And vice versa as well. It actually happens vice versa as well.
Oh, so you're scaling, like you're supporting partners from this region
to scale
going
up,
globally.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I was just at the start of that, I have to say, right? Kind of 3 years, it's still kind of, we're young, but I see quite a good perspectives to really help some of the locally established companies to be our global providers.
Very cool. So you're 3 years in. I imagine you, along this journey, have had no failures whatsoever. Everything has gone smoothly, 100% hit run.
Of course, right? Look, we're a German company. We should not fail.
There is no failure.
Yeah. Well, of course we did, right? Absolutely, right? I kind of, it's normal.
Yeah.
I think everybody have to realize it. And also, I keep telling kind of all the audiences that come to innovation centers that I still feel that we failed not enough. We need to fail more, because if we are not failing enough, means that we are not trying enough, right?
Yeah, that's a great line. I might steal that. Can you share any particular failures? Are you comfortable?
Yeah. Look,
okay, cool.
I think let's get really practical and specific. I want to take one as an example, and I think it's kind of an example that can be extrapolated to other topics. So when we just were starting with the innovation center here, of course, what we looked at first, we looked at what are the solutions that are out there, right, in other parts of the region that are not yet here.
Yeah.
And one of the trends on our trend radar, right, is the future work. An important aspect of it is health and safety of our workers. And look, logistics, there's a lot of automation, but it's still a very, very manual business, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of physical work in our warehouses. So the kind of the step between, right, in between robotics and human work is exoskeletons. So it's the support that you wear close to your body, right, that helps you to prevent the back injuries, right, with lifting. It's a lot of lifting, as you can imagine.
It's like supporting, like using
You
mechanics to help lift, or
so you have different types, right? So you have motorized and non-motorized. So the motorized would actually have some mechanics that will support either your hands, or we are looking mainly at the back backache, right? So prevent the back injuries, right? With all this like lifting from the ground up, right? And also non-motorized working with elastics, right? They also help you to keep the right posture.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is
I might need that.
not really, not only, right, a kind of a lift support, but just preventing workers from doing the wrong movements and therefore hurting themselves, right?
Yeah.
So we were like super excited because this is especially non-motorized, relatively cheap, right? Affordable solution, health and safety, you know, all the good things. Tick, tick, tick. Let's go do it, right?
So if I walk into a DHL warehouse, all the workers are wearing these exo.
Not all, right?
No?
So we're talking
Okay.
failures here, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe first I give you a short story, not from our origin, because it's a fun story in this exoskeleton implementation. So we got an exosuit motorized, like you look like Iron Man a little bit, right? It looks cool, does cool sounds, helps a lot with lift and back support. So we're like, okay, what is the perfect use case for it? Like where it's not really comfortable to lift things. Tires, right? So they're like big,
Awkward.
heavy, and like not easy to handle.
Yeah.
Sweden, one of the operations handling tires. It's like, okay, let's go do this implementation. So the team were there, brought exosuits, right? Discussed with the site management. And then the workers in that site were not very happy. And you know why? You look at the pictures of who was working in the site, you might understand. So there's like young, buffed guys who were actually doing a lot of it as a kind of part-time extra work. And they specifically wanted that job as an exercise. So
it's a workout.
Yeah. So they were like lifting tire. The exosuit is designed that you like, you know, you'll go down, right? It helps you to correctly lift things up. Instead of just taking one tire, they will be like handing two like this. Then
they just want a CrossFit session. Yeah.
Exactly. So right off, right? So didn't take off there. Right?
Yeah.
So this is from other region, but kind of tells you a lot that you really need to understand what is the need of people, right? And approach it not just from the fact that, oh, like, look, I think it's a cool product, it will help you, but truly kind of look at would it help, right? Maybe in some cases it's not, and because you feel it's cool, it doesn't mean that it's helping, right? And really understand the needs, right? So when we were here, we were like, look, we don't have those CrossFit guys, should work, right? Got few sites quite excited to try it. And what we realized that some people, like on the ground, were not very happy to use them. And you know why? Because the exoskeleton prevents you from doing wrong movement.
Oh, okay.
And doing the right movement very often is slower. And what is more important, it's the change to how you used to do things.
Okay.
Right? So you used to lift in a certain way. You kind of, for now, your back maybe is not hurting. Why?
So I can go quicker doing my existing way because this is faster. I'm adjusted to this. I do this every day. This thing that you've brought in is going to make my life, at least in the short term, harder. Yeah.
And you know, the management team was like, well, the acceptance on the ground is not good enough. And we were like, but it's good for you, right? It's good for your health. Think about like years ahead, right? Let's look at statistics. Honestly, for us, the biggest impact on our time off is actually backache, right? So the facts are there that it should be good.
You have a proper business case behind it,
but people are not buying into it. What do you think we need to do, right? So we're like, all right. Then I was like, okay, let's look back at kind of my past career. I did some change management courses. And that's where we figure out that our biggest mistake, our biggest failure was approaching it kind of in the wrong way and not doing enough of that change management with the site management, but also with people, right? The next implementation, what we did, we actually brought a representative from that company. And that lady did actually a lecture showing the pictures of the spine, showing what the bad movement does to you, like the over the years impact. And then the openness to try things was much, much greater.
Yeah.
Still, it's still not a struggle. Like you ask me, like if everybody's wearing them, not yet, right? we're getting better, but the only way to get through it is to really kind of approach it differently, right? Not through just business case, but change management.
I mean, I always think that companies do this all the time, right? You can have the best technology or the best solution or the best idea, but there's that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? It's the same thing from a change management perspective. People have to understand why and be bought into the concept.
And like, this is a simple example, right? With an exosuit, which is like not gonna dramatically change how the logistics industry works. But if you think about bigger things, right?
Yeah.
So the whole automation of back-end processes, right? Getting new software, implementing the new software, we usually swip into it with like, it's good for you, it's better process. But then people that are doing the process have to buy in, because if they don't buy in, it's not going to work, right?
I would imagine in your industry as well, there'll be a certain nervousness about kind of being taken over by automation from the people on the ground, right?
Actually, a good point. We did a study, I think it's now already probably 2 years ago, right, about future work. And we survey blue-collar workers as well as office people, right, in DHL and outside DHL in logistics, with a question, like, do you believe that innovation and automation, right, this development helped your job in the last 10 years? Overwhelmingly, almost 90% were like, yes. And then there was the next question. Do you see it's helping in the future? And then almost 50% think it's a threat. So like, you look at the past, it's good, but in the future, I'm afraid of it.
It's a danger.
Oh. So what do you, like, again, right? So for us, kind of every time we bring in something new, now I have to put my change management glasses and actually think about how I get the buy-in on all levels, right? From the top, middle, and every single operator.
So did you end up mandating it to a degree, or is it still kind of a choice for people on the ground? I'm curious.
So with the exoskeletons, we do work from kind of side to side and really try to get buy-in from every side, because we also realized, we tried mandating it as well, and then it just, people would not put them properly. So it's like, it's just
it brings its own problems, doesn't it?
Waste of money, right? So with that, you really need to go bottom up, right? With other things, for example, with robotics, right? It's like, it's a lot of robotic applications that are useful and coming and helping people, but there is this fear, right? Would it replace me? And certain jobs will be replaced. But where we're also doing things like, we're starting with something small, like let's introduce a cleaning robot, a wrapping, right, robot, that are not taking away the jobs, but people get a bit more comfortable with having the technology around, and then kind of build up.
Like baby steps. Yeah. Very cool. So clearly, change management is a hugely integral part to what you have to do. I think it sounds like from any innovation.
To be honest, yes. I think actually this is the key, right? Especially in corporates. Yeah. Because you have old dogs like me, right?
Yeah.
That No. But you kind of, you do things and it's work, and there's a lot of like this pushes like, it's been working. That's what made us big, best, right? We are the market leader. Don't break the working system. Yeah.
I'm curious, because the way that you've kind of structured the change management piece there is very much for the guys on the ground, the workers on the ground. But you did also mention that you have to do it at every layer. Do you find it more difficult to change manage sometimes at the senior levels versus the on the ground, or that doesn't really kind of manifest itself?
Like, I think it all kind of, again, people's business depends on the person. I'm quite happy to see that here, especially in the region, we do have really the leaders that want to do things, right? I think it's just the spirit of can-do that the region brings in, right? And this fast pace of change around kind of makes it a bit easier, or a lot easier, to bring new ideas on the top. And you see it also, right? If you look around and the leaders of the country, right? The ideas are coming with a lightning speed, and really brave ones. Yeah. And then you need to work on the execution, right? On the levels down.
Absolutely. So if I was to ask you to go back to the start of your DHL journey.
Long time ago.
Well, moving into kind of the innovation side of things and learning about failure, and you had that great concept of, we're not failing enough. We need to fail more. What would be the three things that you could kind of tell yourself as you embark on that journey to really learn and think about failure?
Well, I would say kind of be brave and braver, right? As kind of try more things and try to convince others to do more things. Because even within my team, right, sometimes my team will bring ideas and I'm like, I know, guys, it's not going to fly. I should stop myself as well. It's like, okay, we try, right? Yeah. We actually talk to more people, right, to see if we can move certain things. And sometimes it's also time that you need to find the right time to bring the ideas, right?
Yeah.
Part of the change management, right? So that's one, right? Also look into not just boiling your own soup, kind of look outside, look what others are doing, and not just others in your industry, but others at industries across, because it's a lot of, especially now, right?
Yeah.
The ideas and technologies that really cross-pollinate the industries. That's two. And maybe the third one, listen more to your team, to your partners, right? To your customers as well.
Yeah.
Right. We're not a startup, right? But some of the things that we do kind of very, very much startup, that don't just be so excited about your idea that everything has to happen because your idea that you bring to organization is great, but kind of listen.
Yeah.
What are real pain points? What others think about that idea, and that might help you to actually strengthen your argument towards bringing the idea in.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, just on the face of it, you bring in these exoskeleton suits, you think Iron Man in your head, people are going to love it, but actually there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, indeed.
Super cool. Irina, I want to thank you very much for joining us today. That's gone super quick. I'd love to talk to you more about this, and love to hear what you guys are doing in DHL as well. I look forward to the next round of innovations and the next trends that are coming in. So thank you very much.
Come to the Innovation Center. We can fit you in with some exoskeletons to try, and we have some other things as well.
I'm there, definitely. I'd love to come down.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers.